What is Wi-Fi? And within seconds, you're streaming, scrolling, and downloading. But have you ever stopped to wonder what is actually happening? How does data travel invisibly through the air and land perfectly on your screen? In this video, we are going to break down exactly how Wi-Fi works, from the physics of radio waves all the way to the encryption protecting your data. Wi-Fi stands for wireless fidelity. It is a family of wireless networking protocols based on the IEEE 802.11 standard, first introduced in 1997. The name itself is a marketing term, a play on hi-fi, meaning high fidelity audio. But what matters is what it does. It lets devices communicate over a local area network without physical cables. At the most fundamental level, Wi-Fi is radio. Your router is a radio transmitter. Your phone, laptop, and smart TV all have radio receivers built in. When you send a message or load a web page, your device converts that data into a radio signal, broadcasts it through the air, and your router picks it up, and vice versa. This is the same basic idea behind AM and FM radio, except Wi-Fi operates at much higher frequencies and the data is digital, not analog. Radio waves are a form of electromagnetic radiation, just like visible light, microwaves, and X-rays. They travel at the speed of light, 300,000 kilometers per second. Unlike sound, radio waves do not need air or any medium to travel. They can move through walls, furniture, and even the human body, though some materials absorb or reflect them more than others. This is why thick concrete walls reduce your signal, while a clear line of sight gives you the best connection. Wi-Fi uses two main frequency bands, 2.4 GHz and 5 GHz. The gigahertz number refers to how many times per second the radio wave oscillates. 2.4 GHz means 2.4 billion cycles per second. Higher frequency means the wave oscillates faster, which allows more data to be carried, but it also means the wave has less penetrating power and a shorter range. So 2.4 GHz Wi-Fi is slower but travels farther and passes through walls more easily. 5 GHz Wi-Fi is faster but has a shorter effective range. Modern routers, called dual band routers, broadcast on both frequencies simultaneously, and your device chooses the best one based on your distance from the router and signal conditions. Wi-Fi 6, the latest mainstream standard, also introduces support for 6 GHz, giving even more bandwidth and less congestion. But let us not get ahead of ourselves. One of the most important concepts in Wi-Fi is channels. Within each frequency band, the spectrum is divided into channels, like lanes on a highway. In the 2.4 GHz band, there are 14 channels, but only 3 of them, 1, 6, and 11, do not overlap with each other. When too many routers in an area use the same channel, they interfere with each other, causing slower speeds. This is why your router has a channel setting, and why some routers automatically switch to the least congested one. Now let's talk about how data actually travels. When you request a web page, your device does not send one giant blob of data. It breaks everything into small pieces called packets. Each packet is typically up to 1,500 bytes, about 1,500 characters, and it contains 3 parts: a header, a payload, and a trailer. The header is the addressing information. It contains the source address, the destination address, a sequence number so the receiver knows the order, and timing information. The payload is the actual data, a chunk of the web page, a slice of video, a fragment of a file. The trailer contains a checksum, a small mathematical fingerprint of the packet that lets the receiver verify it arrived without errors. These packets do not all have to take the same path. Some might go one way, others a different way, and they are reassembled in the correct order at the destination. This system, called packet switching, is one of the fundamental ideas behind the entire internet. But how do packets get from your device to the router? This is where the Wi-Fi protocol takes over. When your laptop wants to send data, it first listens to the wireless channel to check if it is clear. This process is called carrier sense multiple access with collision avoidance, or CSMA/CA. If the channel is clear, it waits a tiny random amount of time, called a backoff, and then transmits. If 2 devices accidentally transmit at the same time anyway, they both back off and try again. This random backoff ensures that devices do not keep colliding forever. Your router is the hub of your local network. It does several jobs at once. First, it constantly broadcasts a signal called a beacon frame, typically every 100 milliseconds, announcing the network name, called the SSID, and the capabilities of the network. Your device sees this beacon and knows the network is there. When you connect, your device and the router perform an authentication and association process. They agree on security settings, exchange keys, and establish a connection. Then the router assigns your device an IP address using a protocol called DHCP, Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol. This is the address your device uses to send and receive data within the network. But your router does not just forward data blindly. It maintains a table of all connected devices and their addresses. When a packet arrives destined for your laptop, the router knows exactly which device to send it to. And when your laptop sends a request to the internet, the router performs network address translation, NAT, replacing your local private IP address with the router's public IP address before forwarding the request to the internet. When the reply comes back, it does the reverse. Now, how does Wi-Fi keep your data secure? Early Wi-Fi used a protocol called WP, wired to key, wired equivalent privacy, introduced in 1999. It was broken almost immediately. Researchers showed it could be cracked in minutes. WP was replaced by WPA, Wi-Fi Protected Access, in 2003, which was better but still had weaknesses. WPA2, released in 2004, brought the AES encryption standard, which is the same encryption used by banks and governments. WPA2 is still widely used today and is considered secure when configured correctly. The latest standard, WPA3, introduced in 2018, improves on WPA2 with a better key exchange mechanism called simultaneous authentication of equals, which protects you even if your password is weak. When you connect to a WPA2 or WPA3 network, a process called the four-way handshake happens. Your device and the router exchange cryptographic messages to prove they both know the password, without ever sending the password itself over the air. From this exchange, they derive a unique encryption key for your session. Every packet sent after that is encrypted with AES, so even if someone is listening to every radio signal in the area, they cannot read your data. Finally, let us talk about speed. The maximum theoretical speed of Wi-Fi has grown dramatically over the years. The original 802.11b offered 11 megabits per second. 802.11g pushed that to 54 megabits. 802.11n, or Wi-Fi 4, reached 600 megabits. 802.11ac, or Wi-Fi 5, hit 3.5 gigabits. And the current 802.11ax, Wi-Fi 6, reaches a theoretical 9.6 gigabits per second. But here is the thing. You will never see those numbers in the real world. Actual speeds are typically 40 to 60% of the theoretical maximum because the real world has interference, distance, walls, and many devices sharing the same channel. Wi-Fi 6 also introduces a technology called OFDMA, orthogonal frequency division multiple access, which allows the router to communicate with multiple devices simultaneously on the same channel, dramatically improving efficiency in crowded environments like offices and apartment buildings. So there you have it. Wi-Fi is radio waves carrying digital packets through the air. Your router is a sophisticated radio station that manages channels, assigns, addresses, routes traffic, and encrypts everything. Your device speaks the same language, i.e. 800 and 2.11, and together they make the invisible infrastructure of modern life work seamlessly. Every time you load a page, stream a show, or send a message on Wi-Fi, billions of radio waves are oscillating through the air around you, carrying your data at the speed of light.